towering peaks pierce the sky, their snow-capped summits glistening like sentinels guarding the roof of the world. Welcome to the Tibetan Plateau, a realm of unparalleled natural wonders where the forces of nature converge in a symphony of awe-inspiring grandeur. Hidden amidst these majestic mountains lies a river so mighty, so untamed, that it's captured the imagination of explorers and engineers alike. This is the Yarlung Tsangpo, the highest major river on Earth, and the stage for China's most ambitious and daring engineering feat yet, a $100 billion hydroelectric mega dam that could redefine the future of energy in the world's most populous nation. Want to know more? Well, then don't forget to show your support by giving this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Together, we can continue creating amazing content. Alright, let's see what this mega project's all about. For decades, China's been on a quest to satisfy its insatiable thirst for energy. As the world's second-largest economy and home to over 1.4 billion people, the country's demand for electricity is simply massive, more than double that of the United States and 8 times greater than Russia. To fuel this growing appetite, China has long relied heavily on coal, a dirty but abundant resource that has powered its remarkable economic growth. However, as the country races to meet its ambitious goal of achieving carbon neutrality by 2060, the need to transition towards cleaner, renewable energy sources has become more urgent than ever. And for that, enter hydropower, China's second-largest source of energy after coal, accounting for nearly a fifth of its total power production. Since the 1950s, the country's embarked on an unprecedented dam-building spree, building more than 20,000 structures taller than 15 meters, including the iconic Three Gorges Dam, the world's largest hydroelectric facility. As China's thirst for renewable energy continues to grow, its sights have now turned to one of the most remote and untamed regions on the planet, the Tibetan Plateau. The Tibetan Plateau, often referred to as the third pole of the world, is a vast, rugged expanse that stretches across the heart of Asia. This high-altitude wonderland is home to some of the planet's most stunning natural features, from towering peaks that scrape the sky to deep, winding canyons that carve through the landscape. But beyond its breathtaking beauty, the Tibetan Plateau holds an even more precious resource: water. Serving as the source for 10 of Asia's major rivers, the plateau's vast glaciers and ice sheets are often described as the world's third pole, after the Arctic and Antarctic. This massive freshwater reserve plays a crucial role in sustaining the lives of nearly a fifth of the global population, providing essential water resources for countries across the region. For China, the Tibetan Plateau is important not just for its environmental value. By tapping into the rivers that flow from this high-altitude region, China could gain a lot of geopolitical power over its downstream neighbors. Many of these countries depend on these shared water resources for their economies and agriculture. Now, at the center of China's goals is the Yarlung Tsangpo, a river that's fascinated adventurers and engineers. Starting from the glaciers of the Tibetan Plateau, the Yarlung Tsangpo cuts through the Himalayas, creating one of the deepest canyons on Earth before turning sharply south and becoming the Brahmaputra, which flows through India, Bangladesh, and into the Bay of Bengal. If you look at it on a map, you'll see that the Yarlung Tsangpo's journey is majestic. It winds through some of the world's most remote and rugged areas, dropping 2,000 meters in elevation over a short distance. This creates a stretch of wild rapids and towering waterfalls, earning it the nickname the Everest of Rivers. It's a natural marvel that has long intrigued those looking to tap into its huge hydroelectric potential. And that's why, in recent years, China's ambitions for the Yarlung Tsangpo have only grown more ambitious. Tucked away in the remote eastern reaches of the Tibetan Plateau, near the disputed border with India's Arunachal Pradesh, lies a section of the river known as the Great Bend, a dramatic U-turn where the Yarlung Tsangpo makes its abrupt transition to the Brahmaputra. It's here, in this geologically complex and seismically active region, that China plans to build its most audacious hydroelectric project yet, a $100 billion mega dam capable of generating a staggering 60 gigawatts of power, 3 times the output of the iconic Three Gorges Dam. The sheer scale of this proposed project is truly mind-boggling. Experts think that to unlock the Yarlung Tsangpo's huge hydroelectric potential, a massive water diversion tunnel needs to be built right through Namcha Barwa, one of the tallest and most challenging peaks in the Himalayas. This huge engineering task would direct the river's powerful waters through the mountain, sending them thousands of meters down to turbines on the other side, where the real power of the Yarlung Sangpo could be used. If it's successful, this megadam could become the world's most powerful hydroelectric plant, even bigger than the famous Three Gorges Dam. But the challenges of making this project happen are as tough as the mountain terrain itself. You see, the Yarlung Sangpo Gorge, where China's megadam is planned, is situated in one of the most seismically active regions on Earth, straddling the collision zone between the Indian and Eurasian tectonic plates. This area is prone to some of the most powerful earthquakes ever recorded, including a magnitude 8.6 quake in 1950 that devastated the nearby Indian state of Assam. Any large-scale infrastructure project in this region would need to be designed to withstand the constant threat of seismic activity, a task that poses immense technical and engineering challenges. But the risks extend beyond just earthquakes. The Yarlung Sangpo Gorge is also notoriously prone to massive landslides, with recent incidents demonstrating the potential for these natural disasters to have catastrophic consequences. In March 2021, a melting glacier high in the mountains sent ice and rock plummeting nearly 4 kilometers down to the river below, partially damming the Yarlung Sangpo and causing the waters to swell upstream. A similar event earlier that year in India's Uttarakhand state had even more devastating results, with a flash flood triggered by a landslide-induced dam break killing scores of people and wiping out 2 hydropower plants. How likely is it that these kinds of disasters will happen again? Very likely, especially now with the massive land clearing and construction needed for the Mega Dam project. So the question is, what will the expert engineers do to solve these problems? Well, they'll probably come up with something. After all, it's $100 billion that the Chinese government's investing, right? Now, looking beyond the costs and natural disasters, there's another issue that could complicate things even more: the geopolitical landscape. You see, the Yarlung Sangpo Gorge is right next to the disputed border between China and India. And what do we find there? An area that's been a source of tension and conflict for decades. The border between the two Asian giants is called the Line of Actual Control, and it's been a hotspot for military clashes. One major conflict was in the Galwan Valley in 2020, which led to the first combat-related deaths between China and India since 1975. So the idea of a huge hydroelectric project just a few kilometers from this undisputed border, well, it's definitely ramped up tensions and made India even more worried. They're concerned that China might use the river's waters as a weapon by cutting off or redirecting the flow to India. So to address this, India isn't just sitting back. They're looking into building their own 10-gigawatt hydropower dam and reservoir in Arunachal Pradesh. This move is seen as a way to balance out the potential effects of China's huge dam. The thing is, the secretive nature of the Chinese project has only made things more tense, with India and other countries like Bangladesh worried about how it might impact their water supply and farming. Why? Because the Yarlung Sangpo doesn't stop at the India-China border. Once it enters India and turns into the Brahmaputra, it flows through northeastern India and eventually into Bangladesh. There, it provides essential fresh water and supports millions of people. Any changes to the river's flow or sediment could seriously impact the lives and environments of these downstream countries, making the project even more complex from a geopolitical perspective. So, as you can see, building a $100 billion megadam isn't just about generating electricity. It's also a key piece in the international relations puzzle. But the payoff if they pull it off? Well, 60 gigawatts of power is a huge deal. Sometimes the risk is worth the reward. Sure, it's not all smooth sailing. The challenges are as towering as the Himalayan peaks themselves. We're talking about building in one of the most seismically active regions on Earth, dealing with the constant threat of landslides, and navigating a political minefield that could rival any movie plot. So what do you think? Is this megadam a brilliant solution to China's energy needs, or is it a disaster waiting to happen? Are the potential benefits worth the risks and the geopolitical tension it's stirring up? Drop your comments below and wait to see how China will tackle building this mega project. But for now, keep an eye on Visionary, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when it's all set. Until next time.